The counterpoint is you've got folks like Twitter trying to deal with it and thinking about, well, we'll accept these kinds of political ads, but we'll reject these kinds of ads from candidates because we're not going to be able to tell whether it's truthful or not, and we can't be figuring that out every day, so we're going to prevent those from happening. And I think the fact that some of these other platforms, YouTube and Facebook, are less willing to dive into that is the reason 230 is being reviewed. I think Mark and Susan Wojcicki at YouTube probably need to get more aggressive about no, we're gonna do better, and we're gonna try to prevent people from posting things that are blatantly false. Otherwise, they risk losing the shield, and that would be disastrous for these tech companies.
Back to the EU. When it comes to tech regulation, is the EU now the California, which basically is willing to be aggressive, willing to go out front and kind of set a bar that then the rest of the world's jurisdictions are going to have to follow? Is that just how it is now?
I think probably yes. The answer is probably yes. What will clearly end up happening is there will be lots and lots of different levels of regulation. You know, the EU is probably going to be the most aggressive, along with states like California. Other countries will have their own regulations that may go halfway toward what the EU's done. What that's going to enable is the rise of some sets of SaaS companies who provide privacy services for software companies and companies all around the world, because you're not going to just be able to build all this stuff in-house repeatedly at every company.
We got the OECD right now mapping out digital sales taxes and basically more of a global purview for that. I mean, could you see something like that take place around some of these other types of regulations around big tech? Yeah,
it's hard to tell what's going to happen there. You know, Spain is now announcing they're also going to have a digital services tax of 3%. And, and if every single, there's only 100% of revenue. So it's, at some point, if every country wants to tax your revenues, your total revenues, not just revenues inside the country, by some percentage, you run out of revenue. It's like, you can only have, there's only 100% to go around. Some of it's got to go to the company and its employees.
All right.
So are we in a vice, in effect? One could argue, I will argue, China is setting the bar on scale and data collection when it comes to AI, forcing responses like the Trump administration floating this idea of investing in 5G players in Europe, taking a majority stake, assumedly to be able to control those companies and counter China. Then at the same time, Europe is setting the bar on regulation, pushing from the other side. In the past, the U.S. has set the bar on tech innovation, but could the U.S. innovation end up getting squeezed between China and Europe? Yes,
100%. So what you're going to see here, particularly on the AI front, and that's a great insight, is the players without the regulators on their backs and the ability to go as fast as possible are going to deploy the most innovative solutions. And if that means China's government saying, hey, Chinese AI companies, go, we're not going to look at the ethics or regulate you at all, just win, get there first, you're going to have the best AI solutions. It's going to be hard not to deploy the best AI solutions because your solutions will have better answers than the competition. So that is a real vice, and it's going to be a real conundrum sort of 5-10 years down the road as facial recognition software, health analyses, loan. We use this software that's just better at doing it versus this software that eliminates these biases. Maybe this bank will just perform a lot better than that bank, and it is going to be a real vice and a real problem.